Cheating. About 20% of married men and 13% of married women have been reported cheating with younger partners.
Welcome to the pressure cooker.
Yeah, I would say it's more likely that men are going to find somebody that's a little bit younger,
Hmm.
especially as the older they get, they're going to look for that something that's a little bit, you know, a little tender. Yeah. So, yeah, that sounds about right.
Of course.
That
I mean,
sounds
men will
about
even
right.
marry partners that are younger, not just cheat with them. They
Hmm.
tend to go down and marry partners that are younger. Where, I noticed lately, though, with the new crave, you
Hmm.
find that a lot of women are starting to uh, date younger men and have kids for younger men, especially, the professional ones, the
Hmm.
athletes, those women who have kept themselves, still look fine, still have nice bodies. They're reaching down and look like the cougars are coming out.
Yeah, they say the older women are especially out there in Atlanta, they really, the
Oh, yeah.
YN, they really with the YNs out
Yeah.
there, PlayStations and shoes.
California. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
If that's hey, I'm not gonna hate
And I think
because
that's contributed a lot to women
mhm,
being more financially stable now, especially older. They have careers now where they make real, real good money. And, they get older and they just want to kind of just live life. They're,
yeah,
sexually free, financially free. And a young man like dating women that they don't have to beg or ask or buy things to have sex with. Sometimes the
mhm.
older women just want intimacy. And so, they'll take you on a trip, take you out to dinner. They don't mind paying.
What happens when an older woman falls in love with the YN?
Um,
What happens with
I
that?
would think that is very rare.
You think
Because
so?
yeah, I think that's very rare because the older woman kind of knows what it is. The
Hmm.
danger in that is when the younger man tends to fall for the older woman because it's almost like he gets the best of both worlds. He gets somebody that he can be intimate with, but sometimes they also get that little nurturing, mothering feeling from that woman. She's a little bit more nurturing than a
Hmm.
younger woman because a younger woman is, she's doing things, traveling with her friends, so they get a more personal touch. She may cook them a meal. She may, do little nice things for them, run their bath water. Because, basically, the older woman just want him clean when he gets to her. She want to make sure that he's clean and he's fed.
I tell
So
you what, you know what? I wonder what the statistics on uh, marriage for a woman 20 years older than a man. What is the statistics on that? What is the percentage of older women that end up getting married to a man that's 20 years younger, or men marrying women that's 20 years older? I guess that would be a better way to look at it.
wait, what you say? Repeat
uh,
that.
a, a man that's 20 years junior his wife, or women that are getting married to men that's 20 years younger, at least 20 years younger.
14%.
It's a 14%
And it's
chance.
only 10. It's not 20. They don't give statistic on 20 years, but 10 years women, 14% of women will go 10 years younger than their age.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
interesting.
Mhm. Only
That is
14%.
interesting.
Yeah, only 14% will do younger. They
Mhm.
said that the women tend to want to stay closer to their own age or go older. And I would probably think that when you start talking about younger, they're probably in their 40s. So a woman in her 40 may would date someone in his 60s.
Mhm.
I wouldn't think they were talking about like a woman in her 20s.
Mhm.
I mean, a woman in her 30s, maybe going younger, maybe going 20. I think it's when the women get to their 40s, they may,
40, yeah.
yeah, 40s
They'll
may go
reach
down
back.
back into their 20s.
Yeah,
Yeah, in
okay.
that age. You find that a lot. You see that even right now. You see, then they having kids because at that age, some of them can still have children. So if you're 40 years old, you can still have a kid and you're dating a 28-year-old, a 25-year-old, a 30-year-old,
Mhm.
you can still have kids with that person. So I
Yeah.
see that is trending now that you'll see those type of relationships. And I mean, I've seen one where the woman was 70 and the man was like 50. So I mean, it is
Don't Patti
happening.
LaBelle got her real young dude?
I'm not sure. Um,
I could have swore she. Now I could be wrong.
yeah, I'm not sure
Don't
if
she? I think
her.
her husband is really
I
young.
know Drea does. She's dating one of those little basketball players, and they
Yeah,
say that he's
yeah,
the same age of her son.
yeah.
From
Well, Larsa
basketball wife.
Pippen.
Yeah. So yep. So I mean, I just think the women, as far as the love thing goes, I think the women already know their place. And like you say, you can't stop feelings and emotion, but I think they tend to keep their feelings a little bit more in check. And I think it's the man that, because they're getting something different, the sex is going to be different. The way they treat it is going to be different, especially if she's a successful black woman or a woman, period. If she's a successful woman, yes, she's going to do little nice things for him that
Mm.
he may can't do for himself, dress him up and do little things if they're doing things together. So when a person is giving you that kind of nurturing, you tend to start getting attached to them. So I could see how they will fall in love with somebody like that.
Well,
So
do you think it would be a financial thing? I mean, what about a woman? What about a man that's more financially successful than the older woman that's 20 years older than him?
I think those kind of men appreciate the maturity, the conversations, the intellect. So they're looking for
Mm,
something that stimulates them, that their mindset, and a person who values things more than a Birkin purse and stuff like that.
mm.
So they get to do more intellectual things with those type of women. So yeah, I could see that happening too. Now, I don't know if those men would be so prone to fall in love with those women. I don't know. I think they would enjoy the company and be entertained, but if they don't have children and they're looking to build a family, depends on how older she is. She can't provide that, and would they want to sacrifice that legacy? That's the question that comes into play with that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mhm.
That the question would come. It would play a part as the men get a little bit older.
Mhm.
Cause I believe, when you're young, you say and do stupid stuff like, "Oh, children don't matter to me,"
Mhm.
or whatever. But the
Right.
older woman know that, yeah, you're saying that right
Now,
now.
correct.
But and then some dudes can't have children; they know they can't.
Right, but we were just talking about in general of a younger man going after a younger woman who was financially successful, and it wasn't
Yeah,
related to money. And I would say yes, it's a likelihood it would happen because he's looking for something different, something more intellect. Because a lot of the time, what older men tend to complain about with younger women is the lack of mental stimulation. They can't seem to get the intellectual stimulation that they crave in a relationship, like deep, in depth conversations or topics and stuff like that. So, yes, I could see him choosing a older woman that was, in shape, body looks nice, and dating her. Yes. But maybe, I mean, we can't say you can't fall in love, but the likelihood, I don't
mhm.
know, because he probably, his feelings might go there. But then when you start to think about, can I have a family with this woman? If she's not childbearing age, then that limits things. And
What
will
if
he
he
be?
already have children?
That's what we were talking in general. If he's already have children, then probably yes. Of course, they marry those women and they fall in love with those women, and it's fine. If the woman, the problem in those type of relationship isn't a man, it's the
Mhm.
woman,
Yeah,
because then she starts to feel that way. She starts to feel like, well, what if you want to have children, or what are your children gonna say? Because I could be their mother.
that's actually happened to me
So.
before with this chick. She was older. I don't know how old she was, man. I mean, I think she had to been more like 8 years old, man, 7 or 8 years old.
Mhm.
And she was so up and down, no, you don't have no children, and blah blah
Mhm.
blah, and so on and so forth. And I guess I was so, you know, a rookie in the game to understand what she was really talking about,
Mhm.
So yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah,
I've
it's
heard that
it's gonna
before.
weigh hard
Yeah.
on the women because they want to feel like they can provide you with everything you need if they love you,
Mhm.
and if that's children is an issue, they're gonna back off.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I've definitely dealt with that kind of stuff, man.
Hmm.
And
So dating younger has its perks, and it has It's downsides as well.
Kevin and Caprice. Let's talk relationship.